both papers actually were very topical or very, very similar. So I think we can summarize the questions. Can we show using crowdfunding platforms and funding mechanisms that the home bias effect can be killed? And the answer, I think, is definitely no from the paper you just heard, and maybe from AJ. And I think more importantly, both papers do a good job towards explaining these contexts better. So I didn't know much about Prosper.com before reading these papers, and indeed from this conference. These are small unsecured loans to people you've never met, you will never meet. It strikes me, where is the trust and sort of social interaction here? And if there was a context where you wouldn't expect to see home bias, this indeed would be it. And these are unsecured loans. There's no legal recourse in case of default. They can't enforce the contract by visiting the borrower because they don't have the borrower's address. I don't think they even know the name. Do I have this right? I found this quite surprising. So if ever there's a situation where we shouldn't expect to see home bias, it would be here. And yet, 3 different experiments here, I think all very good. The mechanisms, I like how you've taken this. The mechanisms were not in the paper that I read, but the recent stuff you've done, we're looking at when the lender moves and that kind of stuff, even more convincing. So very, very nice work in that respect. So Quibbles, they're running, instead of a gravity model, they're running a logit across all the potential lenders and all potential borrowers. You might want to run a rare events logit for potential bias. I don't get that purple and pink figure. So you might want to sample longer time periods. I don't know if you can observe who wanted to lend. That'd be even better. And also the friendship network. You did a little more in the slides here, but I didn't understand from the paper what the friendship network was. And indeed, that's a commonality between the 2 papers. So as I said, I'm going to get you out of here very quickly. So Celeban from AJ's work. Artist sets up a profile. It's a strange sort of financing model. If the record does get sold, the profits are split 3 ways. And we're not quite sure who the investors are here, if they're fans or this is a charity. And essentially, what it comes down to, they look at all the successful campaigns, there were 34, and they do a conditional on being successful, which quintile does the investment occur, and they see this increasingly negative interaction for friends and family at the higher quintiles as they get close to success. So I think this paper turns on the friends and family assumption, and they've done some work there which has strengthened that, and that's good. I'd love to see all the data and just sort of the unsuccessful campaigns as well. And again, to Chuck Mansky's comments, there is so many things that might be going on here, and getting at those mechanisms. And I think that's where the recent work on your paper is very nice. Just some ideas. Can the Wayback Machine give us some understanding of what else was going on over the web at this point? I'm also very curious about what happens to the friends and family financing for the bands that aren't successful. So just a brief comment. We would all love to have home runs where we take this, really exciting new thing called crowdfunding and we test some received wisdom in our disciplinary literature. That's a great home run. I think we should stop, or we should not always swing for the fences. And I think good descriptive work would be really helpful here. To Toby's comments, there's so much going on here. There's so many different contexts and so many different types of markets here and we're going to be reviewing each other's work, I suspect, everybody in this room. So let's not diss the good descriptive work. I think that will collectively get us to a better understanding of the phenomena and better theory ultimately than trying to always swing for the home run. So where to from here? Where does the funding go? Who funds? Where? What gets funded? How do these flows differ from other things? And eventually, and this is exactly where AJ and his colleagues are going. How does the crowdfunding, the impact of geography on crowdfunding, ultimately, how will it impact the geography of entrepreneurship and innovation? I think we should go have our questions to each other over lunch. So thanks very much.